Hi, I'm going to do a quick demo video on how to install our brand new Spray Pal Diaper Sprayer. So here are all the parts that you're going to get in your box, and we're going to start by showing the first thing to do, which is to wrap the threads with the Teflon tape which comes with it. To save time, I've already wrapped two of the threads involved, so I just have to do one of them here on the shutoff valve. So what you want to do is take your Teflon tape and start by holding it against the threads, and then turn the valve, not the tape. It's easier to turn the valve and not try to wrap the tape around it, and like so. And I recommend doing 3 to 4 wraps. Better to have more than not enough. And it doesn't have to be super tight. If you pull too tight, it tends to break. So when you're done, you just pop it off. Okay, so now that the thread's wrapped, I'm going to attach the parts before I get into the bathroom for the installation. So I'm going to take my shutoff valve, and one's bigger than the other. The smaller one is going to attach to the end of the sprayer hose that has the nut that spins. And first thing I want to make sure is that the black washer is inside the end of the sprayer hose, and there's another black washer inside the shutoff valve. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just finger tighten first. Okay. Make it snug, and then take the adjustable wrench. Now you're just going to need 2 tools. One is the adjustable wrench and one is a Phillips head screwdriver. Snug it over that. Tighten, and nice and snug. Don't have to use Herculean strength, just nice and snug. So that's attached, and the next thing I want to do is to attach the other end of the sprayer hose to the spray nozzle. And again, there's a black washer inside there. Make sure it's there. Nice thing is the extra washers and screws do come with the package, including an extra washer for the shutoff valve. It's red color instead of black, in case anything gets lost. Okay, so again, I'm going to finger tighten this one. And the nice thing is you don't need any tools or wrench or pliers to tighten this one. You just do it by hand, and you get it nice and tight. And you know you've got it tight enough if there's no more gap right there. So our hose and our shutoff valve is already assembled now. The next thing you want to assemble is the hook and the holder that's going to hold the spray nozzle to the tank of the toilet. So to save a little time, I've attached already the round plate to the hook that's going to go on the toilet with 2 little screws. Here's one more screw to finish it. Okay, you got to be gentle with these because they're very little. Okay, so that's nice and tight. And a little tip is there's a notch that sticks out at the bottom of the plate. That should be facing down. And there's a little nipple here that sticks out of the plate, and that's facing up. So it lines up perfectly with the clip or the holder for the spray nozzle. Okay, so now this one lines up. Again, that little part that's sticking down goes to the groove or the notch that's on the holder. So that fits perfectly, and it'll sort of snap into place. Okay, next you can do, take your one long screw with the tight or the closer threads. You'll see there's only one that fits nicely in here. Whoops. Drops into place, and then you just tighten it down. And then you might want to, my little groove came off of the bottom notch, so I readjusted it and it popped back on, and now I'm tightening it and make it just snug so it's not going to get loose. Okay, so now that part just goes to the tank of the toilet, and it holds the sprayer nozzle. So everything's ready and assembled now. We are ready to go into the bathroom and install to the back of the toilet. Okay, so now we're in the bathroom, ready to attach the sprayer to the actual toilet. And it's really simple. The first thing you want to do is to shut off the water supply to the back of your toilet. Now this one is the kind where you just have to turn 1/4. Some of them you have to turn until it stops, righty-tighty. So that is shutting off the water to the toilet. Then you're going to want to flush the toilet to drain all the water from the tank. Okay, now we've got an empty tank, so I have to disconnect the water supply hose that was into the bottom of the tank, and only a little bit of water is going to come out now. Most of these you can finger loosen, or you might need pliers just to get it started. Okay, so off it comes. I put a couple little towels down on the floor just to catch the little bit that is going to drain out. You could put a little bowl or a bucket too. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is take your shutoff valve and attach this where the hose was. And then the hose is just going to go to the bottom of this to form the union. So on it goes. Oh, I'm going to check to make sure I have my washer. That's super important. And yes, the black washer is in there. Okay, and then I'm going to screw it on. Finger tighten it first, and then make it extra snug with your adjustable wrench. Okay, and these are plastic threads usually on the bottom of the tank, so you don't have to tighten too much because this is metal on plastic. Okay, and you can see I've got my shutoff lever facing out, so it's easy to get to when I use my sprayer. So I've got it snug. Then I'm going to take my wrench and finish tightening. I'm going to get in here like so. Okay, now that we have our shutoff valve connected to the bottom of the water tank, we just need to now reconnect the water supply hose to the bottom of the shutoff valve. So we line it up. Want to make sure it's lined up straight. Sometimes if you line it up crooked, it'll still tighten on, but then it's going to not be a secure connection, so it should turn nice and smooth. Get it on there, and then you can just finger tighten until you can't tighten anymore. You do want to tighten this almost as hard as you can, because when you're using your fingers, that's not going to hurt anything. And that's attached. Now, just turn the water back on. You're going to hear a rush of water, and then you're going to want to check, see if you have any leaks anywhere in the connections, and we don't, which is great. And then I'm going to hook my sprayer onto the sprayer holder that I already attached to the bottom or to the top of the water tank. Okay, the final step is to come down to your shutoff valve and then turn it wide open so you have full pressure going to your sprayer. We like to use full pressure because we're going to use the Spray Pal Splatter Shield, and that contains every bit of splatter that you might get. All right, now we can just test it out. Go ahead and take your sprayer, spray it in the toilet, and you can see we've got really, really good pressure. All right, and one great thing about the new sprayer is when you shut it off with the trigger, you don't have any drips or dribbles coming out of it, which is amazing. Hang it back up. Okay, now one last step that you really need to do, it's super important, is to go ahead and turn off the T-valve all the way off, because that prevents any water pressure from going up into the spray nozzle. And these aren't meant to have water pressure forcing against it 24/7. No sprayers are, so that'll make your sprayer last a lot longer. And there you have it. Our sprayer is fully installed and you're ready to spray off your diapers.